All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge. This is a week and a season. You'd think I would know. I don't know. I was gone last week. And today it is just me in the booth. Our dear friend Devin Adams is on site on the track trying to shoo away any animals that could cause a yellow flag tonight, so hopefully we won't have that happen, but you never know. This is Season 6, Week 8. We are at Portimao, which I believe is in Portugal. You'll have to bear with me this evening. This is also the first time I've been with this track, but we're here. We're at the tail end of the season. Qualifying is just starting to wrap up. We are going to be gridding here in just a moment. We're going to have to live without the famous Devin Adams grid walk tonight, unfortunately. But just a little rundown of our season so far. In the Pro Division, we are still seeing Scott Kimbrough at the top of the board. His lead is now over 20 points. At this point in the season, is he catchable? If that's going to happen, it's either going to be Jake Luther in P2 or Aaron Myers in the P3 spot. It could very well be either of them, since they are only split by 3 points currently. So we got a 3-point split between the number 2 and the number 3 spot. We'll see if they can catch Scott Kimbrough tonight. Down the pro board, we have 2 ties this week. Jesse Olsen and Jesse Hall are tied for 5th, and they are each trailing Bradley Alvis in 4th by 16 points. We also have teammates Nick Tyrrell and Thomas Clausen tied for 8th place. And they only have a 4-point gap to overtake Daniel Hall in 7th. And as we move to the AM division, the top 4 positions have remained unchanged since last week. Kevin Hayes at the top with only 2 points on Tony Casito in 2nd, who's only 5 points on Michael Doyen running in 3rd place. Doyen Plumbing and Heating, 3rd place. But he's got Thomas Ferrari? Not Pereira? Oh, Pereira. Pereira. I got some pronunciations here that I'm reading, and my slow brain has to figure it out, but that's Thomas Pereira in 4th place by a single point. Bob Lindell tonight is hoping to hold down 6th place, with Joseph Evers looming large in his rear view, only a point behind. Same goes for Skylar Gregg in 12th place, leading Charles Rotes, the Sauce, by only a single point. Empire Racing is the leading team this week, and Sooty Blue burst back into the podium to take 2nd, and somehow, with all the points flying around and all the good racing, in Week 8 we have a tie for 3rd. Blue Falcon Esports and Mystery Inc. are dead even. With the points differential down to the next position, the battle for this podium seriously could not be closer. In all caps by Bob Lindell. That was your quick season recap. I was reading off a script if you could not tell, but we're here on the grid. We can do a quick and dirty overall grid walk if I get to the correct camera. It might be a little rough tonight. Jake Luther's not on the grid yet. We're at P1. We got a Jake Luther here in P2. Austin McGill for... I'm not sure what's going on my board. P2 overall. We're going to do overall the classes. I think there's something funky going on tonight. I was not on the ball enough to get that figured out. This is your P2 in Pro. Austin. Well, we'll go overall. Boy, this is rough. This is... rough. Bear with me. We got Austin McGill, 2nd place. P3 overall, Scott Kimbrough up there with a time. I can't see any times either because they joined late. This is fantastic. P4, we got Justin Hall. P5, Mitch Buenaventura. P6, we got Bradley Alvis. Behind him, P7 in that OMEC Audi. Got Nate Sides. In P8 overall and P1 for the amateur division, Michael Doyen came out to Portimao tonight with a good qualifying. He's out here to maybe make up a couple positions, maybe take P2 overall tonight. Jesse Olsen in P9 And Patrick Cantrell, P10, P8 overall for the pros. P11, we got Joe Evers. P12, Brian Anthony. P13, Kevin Caedo. That makes me up a little bit. P13 again, Thomas Pereira. Don't know what happened there. P14, Parker Merrill. P15, Tony Casido. Everyone's moving. It's messing me up. And that rounds out your top 15 here with Tony Casido. Did not get down to the rest of the grid walk. Unfortunately, we're going to go here on the leader. Come down. We got a full pace lap at Portimao. There is that. Looks like we got a Ford Mustang pit car tonight. That's interesting. We are going to be looking. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16 turn track tonight at Portimao, which is the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve. That's a rough one. Don't know how to pronounce that either. Going through that hairpin there called Torre VIP or Torre VIP. Definitely not going to know how to say that one. Coming up to the next kink here. Go to the next hairpin that's called Samsung. Beautiful. Beautiful Samsung. This is an endurance race. Quick rundown. I think we missed that. This is an endurance race. So there's going to be 90 minutes of racing this evening. There could be a full course caution if our co-host Devin Adams didn't get those animals wrangled up. You never know. Cars have about 50% fuel, about 30 minutes of gas, so we'll be looking at 2, maybe 3 pit stops during the race. There was rain in the forecast, but fortunately for these drivers, that turned to light fog, and we are going to have a completely dry race, which everyone should be excited for. Would be nice if I can see that track map, but I can't. I don't need to see it. That's fine with me. Looks like we're coming around to the final corner here, and we're going to be on that main straight. That pit car is going to go in the pits, and we're going to be ready for 90 minutes of green flag racing. We've got Jacob Luth out there with newcomer Austin McGill in that Audi. We got Scott Kimbrough in that Lamborghini right behind him, right on his tail. All right, well, there goes the green flags. Kimbrough looking like he was trying to get a good start. Didn't get a good start as he wanted. He's going 3 wide there. Michael Doyen rocking his way up to P3 almost, taking out the pros in the amateur division. Everyone goes side by side through that turn 1 there a little bit, and we got Luther and McGill battling out for P1 and 2, taking the lead. Everyone's coming in nicely, no contact yet, no crashes. Everyone taking their turns going through. Luther has got newcomer Austin McGill all over his tail, coming down into a Torre VIP hairpin. That's a real sharp hairpin right there. Everyone's going to be piling in. Got to avoid that sausage curb, get a good exit. Don't want those tires spinning, so you can get a good run on the main straight. This is coming through the kink here. This is coming through Samsung. Everyone's still looking good. Looks like we got that Tony Casido having someone coming up on his inside. No crashes yet. Everyone is driving nicely. I had to stop to wrangle a cat out of my office. Don't worry, I am alive. So far, Jake Luther still keeping the lead on Austin McGill, followed behind him Bradley Alvis in the Sudi Porsche along with Mitch Buenaventura. Same paint job there. He is looking to make up some ground on Austin McGill. Behind Bradley Alvis, stretched out a little bit. Scott Kimbrough in that Empire Racing Lamborghini. Behind him, Jesse Olson in that pink and orange Sudi Mercedes, who has Mitch Buenaventura sneaking up behind him, and this train of cars coming down the main straight. Behind Mitch Buenaventura, we have our amateur leader so far this race, Michael Doyen. Michael Doyen having some bad luck most of these races. He's out here in P1. I believe he won the last race we broadcasted. Not sure on the results of the last race that I missed, but I'm sure he's out here looking to have a good race. He does have pro driver and OMEC veteran Patrick Cantrell breathing down his backside, but Michael Doyen in the amateur division is well ahead of P2 and amateur Brian Anthony. He's out here making quite a showing for himself. Who knows, might be in pro next season. Then we got Patrick Cantrell is going to be fighting Nate Sides. Patrick Cantrell, usually known for playing it safe, playing it cool, has been getting his elbows out this season and really making a show of it, showing what he can do. In top 10 in the pro division currently. And there's Nate Sides behind him, getting all over the back of that OMEC Porsche. This is, of course, the beginning of an hour and 30-minute race, so not a lot of people really getting their elbows out. Looks like everyone's kind of playing it cool. Fuel saving will probably be a strategy, I would assume, through this race. Looks like Cantrell has gained a little bit on Michael Doyen. We'll see if he is going to make a pass this early in the race, or he's just going to play it safe, try to save some fuel. We're going to go on board with Patrick Cantrell as we come up to the straight. He is in the draft, gaining on the back of Michael Doyen. Is he going to stick his nose out, try to make a move into T1? All the back of him sticks his nose out, trying to sell the dummy. Michael Doyen lets him by. Patrick Cantrell late on the brakes, avoids that sausage curb, goes through there beautifully. No hesitation, never surrender. That was its Always Sunny reference, but I think it was incorrect. Patrick Cantrell rear end of that Porsche, stepping out a little bit, and now he has Mitch Buenaventura to hunt down. He is wasting no time. We're going to see what happened to Skylar Gregg. It looks like he went off track. There he goes. And there is Chris Krause in that McLaren. Uh-oh. Let's see what happened here. Porsche doing Porsche things, I assume. Crosses into T1, overcooks it on the brakes a little too hard. It does look like he's got a little damage on the back end from a prior incident. I'm assuming he's got some Tokyo Drift action coming around there. Almost avoids it. But Chris Krause hard on the brakes. Not going to let him save that one. Let's see this onboard view with Chris Scott. And there is Chris Krause straight into the pits. I mean, if you're going to crash, that is the place to do it. And Chris Krause had Bob Lindell all over the back of him. We're going to take a look. We're going to go on board with Chris Krause in this Mercedes. Part of the Checkers Records teams, he's got Christopher Piero, but in front of him, looking to make a move possibly on Christopher Piero, sticking his nose up on the inside. He does have Bob Lindell behind him right now, breathing down his neck in that Porsche. And here he comes around this corner, cutting that curb pretty good, and there he goes, spinning in front of him. I think he got on the brakes a little too late there, dived straight in the pit, and he is definitely going to be taking his fast repair. That is unfortunate. We're back on board with Patrick Cantrell, and speaking of Patrick Cantrell, he made a pass on Mitch Buenaventura, and then we got a crash from Mitch Buenaventura way back here. Here's... Oh, Mitch Buenaventura just spun out right there. That was unfortunate. That got him around there, no problem. Another off track from Chris Kraus with his fully repaired car. He's got the cold tires, wasn't ready for it, probably has to warm them up. Luckily, he just spun into the grass. And look at those grass textures. Amazing. Cut right through there, just like a little lawnmower. And then we got another crash. This is not the night for Chris Kraus. Getting on that curb again, coming through that corner. There goes the back end. Oh, his tank slaps are right in the wall. That is unfortunate. That is a rough night for Chris Kraus. This is Chris Kraus in the Discord. He's in the party chat. We're gonna talk to him. Chris Kraus.
Oh, it's such a lovely night, isn't it?
We you know, you haven't been at the last couple races that I've been broadcasting anyways.
True.
And you were out here, you're on the broadcast, you're spinning, you're going through the grass, you're slamming into the wall. What is talk us through this night?
I'm just, having a great night. This is a great track that I know very well, obviously. Luckily, there was a nice glitch that was put in, or not a glitch, but a mistake. Someone made the new session with unlimited fast repairs, so I'm already on my second one.
Oh no!
Lap
Who
4.
did that? Looks like everyone's gonna be in the race tonight. Is that true?
I'm not kidding you. We have 255 left.
Oh, the admins. We're gonna pull one of them in here. We're gonna pull. I don't know if it's gonna crash Landon or not, but Landon, unlimited fast repairs, huh?
Oh man, I know.
Oh.
I told everyone, I shared my screen when I set up the session. I said, if I messed up, it's on you guys, and they signed off.
All the admins are in trouble.
I know.
We're gonna bring Bob Lindell. Bob Lindell, unlimited fast repairs.
Yeah. So, did you hear the drama about the session creation?
A little bit.
Yeah, so we had to scramble, and yeah, it turns out we went through as a group and checked all the settings, except we did not see fast repairs were set to unlimited, so there you go.
Well, lucky for Chris Kraus, he's going to be back on the track.
I'm not complaining. Already used 2 of them.
Well, I expect you to be carving your way back up to the front.
Oh, I don't know. The McLaren in this car, in this track.
And that's especially that driver.
And the driver.
Yeah, the driver's the worst part. All right, I'm going to send you guys from whence you came, but good luck. Drive safely.
Thank you.
I threw them all back into the party chat. We got our one man, Michael Doyen, in the focus chat. He's definitely going to be focusing because he has Brian Anthony breathing all over the back of him. But so unlimited fast repairs tonight, folks. Usually only have one. No excuses. Probably see some harder driving. I don't know. If I knew I had the unlimited fast repairs, I would probably send it. We've been on this battle with Patrick Cantrell and Nate Sides this entire time. They have been taking it pretty easy. It does look like Nate Sides might be getting a little squirrely back there in that Audi. I was going to go back and look at some of these highlights here that I've seen happening, but Nate Sides is getting all over the back of Patrick Cantrell. We're going to go on board. Not with Patrick Cantrell, but with Nate Sides in this Audi. With that lovely fire-breathing V10 blowing out everyone's eardrums. Better than that whiny, terrible high-pitched sound of the Porsche, but that's just me. Coming through here, looks like he's going to try to stick the nose in. Patrick Cantrell is holding his nerve very well to the Iceman Nate Sides behind him. Late on the brakes. But that Porsche, that cheat code Porsche, has all that rear weight over those back wheels. The engine in the back, it just gets amazing exits out of the corner. I think the Audi has really good straight line speed and can really send it into the corner, maybe get later on the brakes, but there is just no match for that rear grip on corner exit. You can see there the Porsche, he gains so much time. Nate Sides is able to claw back maybe a couple tenths down the straight, but not enough to actually get a move made into turn 1. You can see he's so much later on the brakes, though, can really send it in the corner. But by the time he's getting through, Cantrell's already on the gas. There's nothing else he can do. It's definitely getting real close. We're going to go back. We're going to see Parker Merrill went off the track. He is in that Rexy Porsche. Oh, looks like he just went left a little bit. Don't text and drive, folks. That's never a good one. He got Nick Terrell behind him. Had to take the inside line, trying to avoid a crash, and that left him vulnerable to looks like Tony Casito behind him. Tony Casito up the inside, sticking his nose in, forcing Nick Terrell to go wide, and they are going to go side by side through the rest of the track. There they are, pushes Tony Casito wide, and Tony Casito into the back of Nick Terrell, pit maneuvered him, going down the road, and he is in the gravel. Don't know how much damage he got from that, but he is not going to be happy about that one, folks. That was an instant. Tony Casito getting his elbows out, fighting for everything. We're going to see this from the cockpit view. Here's Tony Casito on the inside. Nick Terrell's going to be to the left of him. Tries to squeeze him. Nick Terrell does. Ooh, tries to push him wide. Tony's on the outside. There was a lot of room to go if he wanted to take an off track, but he decided not to. Unfortunately, we'll take a look from Nick Terrell's point of view in the cockpit mode. And here he is, Tony Casito behind him. That was a different crash. It was a different crash. Unfortunately, probably some damage. Nate Sides did get a pass made on Patrick Cantrell. Coming down here, sent it on the inside. Finally, with late enough braking, 2x2 here through this corner. I don't know the name of it. My apologies. Maybe Torrey Vip. Got a pass done. That was beautiful. We do have another crash from Chris Kraus. Was it a crash? Is he just going slow? Oh, there we go. Again, that McLaren is not happy this evening. It looks good though. It does look good. We got Tony Casito has made a pass on Landon Orr. We'll see if this one is clean. Landon Orr was stuck behind that Rexy. Looks like made a little bit of a bump, and that completely wrecked his corner through there, and that let Tony Casito get the pass. And now Tony Casito, I'm never gonna say his name right. Tony Caicedo looks like he did get around Parker Merrill as well. Right after that, the next corner, just sent it on the inside like nothing's happening. We did get a crash from Skylar Gregg. Coming here on the Porsche, running out here kind of all by his lonesome. Sent it into turn one, a little too much gusto. Kept it out of the wall though, fortunately. That is definitely going to lose him a lot of time though. Let's go through. Newcomer Austin McGill. Looks like he did get around Jake Luther. Can I find that pass? Here is the pass. Austin McGill passing Jake Luther for turn one. Let's back that up just a little. Looks like they're side by side for quite a long time. They're coming down the main straight. We're gonna back this all the way up. This looks like quite the battle. That was definitely quite the battle. Here they are on the final corner. Coming down the main straight, we got Parker Merrill behind Jake Luther. Jake Luther definitely taking the defensive line, trying to do everything he can to keep Merrill behind him. Coming down the main straight, we're coming up to the turn one. Luther stays defensive, tries to go to the outside as much as he can. Merrill stays, gets a better racing line. Keeps him on the inside for turn two, and they're going to go too wide through turn three, the hairpin here. It looks like Merrill just gets a better exit. They're coming up through turn four, but Luther stays side by side through turn four. Onto this straight over the hill, coming into turn five. Looks like Merrill gets the better run, goes defensive. Looks like Luther's going to stay on the outside. Merrill keeps the defensive line. Luther's going to try to get a better exit with that Porsche coming out of there, but he can't get it done, and Merrill stays in front. We got a crash from Kevin Caedo. Gonna see if it's another Porsche doing Porsche things. Yeah, that's a Porsche doing Porsche stuff. Up over the sausage curb into the grass. And there you go. We got... Whoa! Christopher Piero and Landon Orr. Wait, what happened there? Hold on. Hold on, everybody. I believe it was Landon Orr and Parker Merrill. Landon Orr sending up the inside of Parker Merrill. Parker Merrill coming around it. Ooh, taps it back in. Landon Orr 360, keeps it on the wall, but not going to be happy about that one. Probably picked up a little damage. Going to lose 2 positions there after that wreck. Or is he? Or is he? He's not going to lose those 2 positions. He is a man with something to prove. Just going to keep it at 1 position. 1 position loss for Landon Orr due to Parker Merrill. Here's your 2 up front. Austin McGill, Jake Luther. We're 17 minutes into this race, so pit stop should be coming up any time. Looks like McGill is just gapping the field with Jake Luther. Pulling half a second in front of him. Back here, all kind of by his lonesome, Scott Kimbrough, 7 seconds behind Luther. Coming down the main straight in that Lamborghini. It looks like he's holding out for P3 in the Pro Division. He does have Bradley Alvis behind him. Looks like he is closing the gap a little bit. We'll see if he's able to hunt him down by the end of the night. Behind Bradley Alvis, though, is Jesse Olsen. Looks like these guys are all kind of playing it safe here in the midfield. We got Nate Side still ahead of Patrick Cantrell. They are within half a second of each other. I can assume Patrick Cantrell is probably doing a little fuel saving, just staying behind Nate Sides, trying to extend his stint a little bit. We got Michael Doyen out here, 6 seconds behind Patrick Cantrell and 1.3 seconds behind in front of Thomas Pereira in that Audi. Michael Doyen running a clean race out here tonight, trying to keep that lead away from Thomas Pereira and Brian Anthony in that OnlyFans BMW. But Brian Anthony has Joe Evers and a Mike Braun behind him. Mike Braun back there a little ways in the field. He's in P7 in the Pro Division, but P16 overall. Looks like he's kind of struggling to get around Brian Anthony there a little bit. We're on board here with Mike Braun, looking to make a move on that Joe Engineering with Porsche. It's hard to make a move on the Porsches, though. They got that exit speed like you wouldn't believe. We got Tony Casito, after getting in a tussle with Nick Terrell, all the way back here in 13th overall. P5 in the amateur division, though. Doing pretty good. He's got his arch nemesis, Mitch Bonaventura, coming up behind him, though, and usually when those two get together on the track, sparks do fly. We got Parker Merrill and Kevin Caedo in a little bit of a battle here for P6 and P7 in the amateur division. Landon Orr, looks like he did end up getting around Christopher Piero, trying to make his way back up through the amateur division as well. We're going to see that pass Landon Orr made on Christopher Piero. He's got a beat-up Lamborghini there. Just gets a pass done into the Torre VIP. Butter. Nick Terrell made a pass on Bob Lindell. The pass of Nick Terrell's life. Here he comes, too wide. Bob Lindell aggressively letting him by. Back here we got Fennicini, 6 seconds behind Bob Lindell. Chris Kraus has not pitted since lap 3. Congratulations, Chris Kraus. And it looks like we have Skylar Gregg and Justin Hall out of the race, unfortunately. Leaving Chris Kraus as our back marker. But look at those flames. See what, McLaren might not be the favorite car of the season, but damn does it look good. and sound good. We're gonna do live drone cam. Hold on. That's too far. We're on the ground. Bear with me. It's all worth it for the live drone cam. The drone cam of the McLaren. This is the new OMEC drone on the track, providing you with these amazing camera shots you've never seen before. Chris Kraus coming onto the main straight. That's getting a little scary. Getting a little scary. I might have to back it off a little bit. Coming into turn 1 through that sausage curb there. That's beautiful. I hope everyone loved that camera angle. We're going to see a crash from Nate Sides, who was keeping in front of Patrick Cantrell this entire race, keeping a clean race. Good thing we got unlimited fast repairs tonight, folks. He is going to send it through. Oh, what a move by Patrick Cantrell. What in the world? These are two usually calm and collected OMEC sim racing team competitors, and there is an absolute send. We're going to do the drone cam. Patrick Cantrell coming down here, running wide, avoiding those curbs. We're going to make an absolute send on Nate's sides. Late on the brakes, going for the move, a little bit of sideways, and just checks him right there. It's a good looking paint job, though. We might have to see what Patrick Cantrell has to say about that. We got a couple back-to-back passes from Thomas Pereira and Michael Doyen coming side by side. Michael Doyen on the inside, Thomas Pereira holding on the outside, still holding that outside line. Coming up here, going to be a left-hand turn coming up, I think. Nope, this is on the main straight. Coming on the final corner on the main straight, there is Michael Pereira, Thomas Pereira, getting in the draft of Michael Doyen, looking to make a move down to T1, sticking his nose out there, trying to sell the dummy. Michael Doyen not going to take it, and going to stay in the lead. How about that on the fly editing of that beautiful Valhalla Motorsports brown Audi? Jake Luther has fallen behind a little bit, 1.3 seconds behind the leader. Bradley Elvis is still all over the back of Jesse Olsen. I think fuel saving, but we got Mike Braun back here on Joe Evers, coming down to T1, making a move, no problem. He is in the Pro Division, P11 overall. Thomas Pereira still on the back of Michael Doyen. Coming through Torre VIP, otherwise known as Turn 5, coming through Turn 6 and 7. This little kink here before Turn 8. Samsung. Pereira taking Doyen side by side through Turn 7 into Turn 8, not able to keep it side by side, drops back, probably hoping for a better exit to get a run on Michael Doyen. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Behind him, we got a crash. That was Brian Anthony spinning out of control in that OnlyFans BMW. Let's take a quick replay of that. Here he comes out of Samsung. Back end just gets loose. Can't quite hold it on the grass. Kept it on the wall. No big deal. Just a little bit of a scary moment for him, I am sure. We do have Bradley Alvis behind Jesse Olsen, only at 0.7 seconds. We'll see if he got a good enough run in that Porsche to try to make a pass. Coming down the main straight, we're on board with him. The gyro cam of the Porsche, I don't think he's close enough to get enough draft to make a straight. That didn't make any sense at all. That was not a sentence, everyone. It was not a sentence. I'm going to roll with it, though. Here's Thomas Pereira, 0.4 seconds behind Michael Doyen, coming down the main straight. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to close that gap enough to make a move into T1. Michael Doyen stays ahead. He's still right on his bumper, coming through turn 2 into the hairpin of Lagos. Turn 3, here's a nice view up the track. Michael Doyen taking it wide. Thomas Pereira keeping a tighter line through there as they headed to the sweeping left-hander of turn 6. Coming down this back straight into Torre VIP. Here comes Thomas Pereira thinking about making a move. Doesn't. Stays behind him. And he has Mike Braun, who has caught up to him. If you could hear those sneezes, I apologize. We're coming up on 27 minutes. Looking like we are going to be having some pit stops here this evening. Probably soon. We'll see if Pereira is going to make a move before the pit stops. He's closed that gap down to about 0.3. Boy, the Audi's quiet there. It's like a spa day in here. He does have Mike Braun right behind him, 0.4 seconds, and Joe Evers 0.7 seconds behind Mike Braun. So he has a train of cars behind him. He needs to get around Michael Doyen if he wants to stop wasting time. They are battling P1 and P2 for the AM division, but I don't think Michael Doyen is going to let him have it that easy. First in the pits, we got Austin McGill, our P1 driver, into the pits. He's taking tires and fuel right now. We no longer have that tire limitation, so people will be taking tires and fuels every stop. Behind him, we got Michael Doyen and Tony Pereira. Nope, Tony Pereira stayed out. Michael Doyen into the pits. We'll see if he is also coming in. We also have McGill in the pits, Anthony in the pits, Caicedo in the pits. Everyone taking a pit stop here on lap 16. I don't think Michael Doyen's car went into the air, unless I just missed it. We'll see if it goes down. Oh, it went down. I missed it. He is taking tires. Michael Doyen getting back on the track. We'll see Thomas Pereira was probably able to save some fuel back there behind Michael Doyen, I am assuming. If I was a betting man, I would be betting he was trying to save fuel and not actually trying to make the pass. We'll see if he is putting the hammer down this lap or not. If he's going to be able to make up enough ground to undercut or overcut? That'd be overcut, right? That'd be the overcut of Michael Doyen in the pits. I don't really know these terms. I'm not this smart. I'm just a man with a microphone. We're still on board with Thomas Pereira. We are looking to see if he is going to pit coming around this time. That is much louder than before. We're coming down the final corners to the main straight. Is he going to dive into the pits? He is. He was only able to extend one more lap. So that is Pereira diving into the pits. Let's see where our man Michael Doyen is. I believe Michael Doyen is coming through. I think that was Samsung. Samsung into Craig Jones. Boy, I don't know what turn that is, to be honest with you. That probably was through Portimao, coming into these unnamed corners. Sawgrays. Great at my job. I hope you're all enjoying this. Is he going to be able to get out in front of Pereira? Pereira is out of the pits. Here's Michael Doyen. quickly closing the gap. Bavaria was able to jump him in the pits. But Michael Doyen is quickly behind him. Thomas Pereira probably has some cold tires that he's going to need to get up the temperature, and this is Michael Doyen's chance to strike. He's got those tires already warmed up. We'll see if he can make a move. Come down here into Torre Vip. We'll see if he can get a better exit. Coming onto the back straight, back little kink here of turns 6, 7, and 8. I don't think so. It looks like he is slowly pulling away. Jake Luther finally into the pits on lap 18. Jake Luther and Scott Kimbrough able to extend all the way to lap 18 on their pit stop. That is definitely some fuel saving. Coming out of the pits 5 seconds behind McGill, who did have to pit 2 laps earlier. That could come down to a fuel-saving race there at the end. We got some crashes. We'll see if they're real. We got Chris Kraus crashing again. Man, that McLaren does not like that specific curb. You think he'd learn to stop hitting it, but... Oh, it pulls out right in front of Michael Doyen. Oh, no. Oh no, and there is the OnlyFans BMW crashing behind. That is an unfortunate crash for Chris Kraus and Michael Doyen. Definitely going to ruin the race of Michael Doyen that he worked so hard for in the beginning. And that curb really upsets that McLaren. He goes across. McLaren does tripod a little bit and pulls out right. Oh no. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. We'll see if Landon Orr was involved in that incident. Or if this was a different crash from Landon Orr. Landon Orr smacking that sausage curve real hard. Drifts around. Almost gets high centered on the next sausage curve. That is not going to be a good one from him. And then here's that crash from Brian Anthony. I assume avoiding that accident. Yeah. Gets on the brakes hard. Tokyo drifts there through the grass. Saves it. No damage. It's a good save. Brian Anthony made a pass on Tony Casito. There was a battle here. Tony Casito passing Brian Anthony multiple times. Tony Casito in on the inside. Too wide through the series of corner. Brian Anthony not going to let him have it. Brian Anthony, backhand just comes around. Those tires are overcooked. Tony Casito hard on the brakes, avoids that track, and he is innocent for now. Unfortunately, Michael Doyen just entering the pit lane. That I don't know if he's going to be able to come back for that one at all. We have another crash from Chris Kraus coming out of the pit lane. Just keeping it slow, trying not to ruin another race. There he goes. Michael Doyen has left the pits. All the way down in P22 overall. But this is what I'm saying. Michael Doyen gets the worst luck ever. Puts in that effort and gets smashed by McLaren. It is a long race though. He does have an hour left. You never know what could happen. I think on that, we are going to leave it here. This battle with Bradley Elvis, your solo commenter, is going to take a break. quick intermission. We'll leave it on the action, and when I come back, maybe we'll do some interviews and talk with the drivers and see how the race is going so far. right, folks, we are back in the action. He had a little battle there with Tony Caicedo and McGill, who I believe had a little bit of an incident and is no longer at the lead of the race, unfortunately. I think let's go back and take a look. We have definitely some things were missed. Let's go back here. Let's see. We got a crash from Nate's sides. The Iceman himself. This corner back end looks like it was getting a little squirrely, and I bet he's going to lose it right there. He does. Gets it off track nicely, and that lets Patrick Cantrell right back around him. Had not lost any ground on him that entire race. That's pretty incredible. We do have another crash from Chris Kraus. There's the back end of that McLaren. It's rough at tonight's track, I'll tell you what. We do have a crash from Mike Braun. That Empire Audi. Back end just getting a little squirrely. We are coming up to the time when people should start be taking some pits. That's not a sentence, but that'll work. Speaking of pits, there's Tony Caicedo in the pit lane. Looks like Anthony also pitted. Oh, Greg is out. Tony Caicedo and Anthony, the current ones in the pit stop. Here is the crash from Sam McManus. Looking to make a move on Landon Orr, sticking his nose in, trying to make a move. Looks like back end just comes around. Porsche does Porsche stuff. Porsche do Porsche things. We got another crash from Parker Merrill. Almost getting in the back of Fennicini there. Still could be getting into the back of Fennicini. Ooh, Fennicini hard on the brakes and Parker Merrill into the back of him. Don't know if he wasn't ready for that or what. He braked, but Parker Merrill did not brake. Fortunately, it looks like Cini got through that relatively unfazed. Michael Doyen making his way back to the field, made this pass on Bob Lindell. I think we saw that earlier. Coming into T1. I think Lindell went ahead and let him have it. There we go. Sam McManus also getting around Bob Lindell in that same spot, coming through turns 2 and 3, taking him too wide through turn 2, setting up the inside turn 3, gets a better exit out of the corner, and there is the position. We got a crash from Brian Anthony in that OnlyFans BMW. Looks like it might have a little damage there on the rear end. Yeah, it is missing a bumper and a trunk and everything, and that has got it messed up. Don't know if he has a message. We have unlimited fast repairs, but hopefully he uses it. Still rolling backwards. A little bit of a sketchy rejoin, but looks like we're good to go there. Christopher Pereiro coming through turn 1. BMW sticking its butt out there like it likes to do. We do have a crash from Tony Caicedo, who was making his way up the front, looking to get back to that Valhalla Audi. Rear end steps around and he comes to a stop. Don't know what happened to Tony Caicedo. Let's see if we can pull him in. Tony Caicedo, why did you come to a stop?
Put me back.
Alright, goodbye. Tony Caicedo not happy. I'm not sure what happened. Let's take a look. Could be a rough night for everyone. Rewinding. This is taking a little longer than I thought it would take. I probably should have done the other thing, but I didn't do the other thing. We're still here. You still with me? We're watching this. Yep. We're rewinding. The crowd is absolutely vibrating up there. Look at them jiggling back and forth. Here we go. What happened to Tony Caicedo? Could be getting in an argument with someone, not sure. seem like the usual happy Caicedo that we had once talked to. Maybe ran out of gas? Not sure. Only time will tell. We have a crash from Christopher Piero. Is it going to be a turn 1 rear end of the car coming out again? These cars do not like that turn this evening. They're real easy to get that one wrong. Looks like we have Scott Kimbrough entering the pits there. Up front we have Jake Luther. P1, Scott Kimbrough P2, but did just enter the pits. Austin McGill, who did have that little incident earlier, has made his way all the way back up to P2, did pit on lap 30. We'll probably have to do another stop and go before the end, while everyone else is making their final pit stop. Scott Kimbrough behind him has maintained P3. Bradley Alvis in that Sudi Porsche there in P4, and Jesse Olson quickly closing in behind him in P5. We got Mitch Buenaventura, Joe Evers, and Mike Braun in the pits for P7, 8, and 9. Nate Sides and Patrick Cantrell getting around the lap traffic of that Rexy there. We got Michael Doyen has made his way all the way back up to P2 in the amateur division. I assume that's from the pit stop shuffling around there. Yeah, he has not pitted since lap 19, so once he pits, that'll put him back in the order a little bit. It looks like do that late pit stop, though. He will just have to make a quick little stop and go to get some fuel for the end. Behind him, Thomas Pereira sitting P3 for the AM division. Kevin Caedo sitting comfortably P4. He pitted on lap 13. 19 seconds behind Pereira, but 12 seconds ahead of Tyrrell. Just out here on his own, having a good race. Nick Tyrrell has gotten in a few incidents tonight. Does Nick Tyrrell want an in-car interview?
Yeah, what's up, Marcus?
It is going good. I'm struggling here by myself. How's the race going this evening?
A lot better than the first couple stints were. I've had to basically learn the race and track along the way. I didn't really put a lot of it to memory while I was screwing around with it yesterday. I was just sitting there having fun, and a lot of it didn't really translate tonight because I didn't really even focus much. So after my wreck and did some close racing at Tony and stuff, I've had to pay a lot more attention, that's for sure.
How does your car feel on turn 1? That's where I see the BMWs and the Porsches.
I hate. Yeah, I'm not a fan right there. I've gone out wide there 3 or 4 of my incidents, I think.
It seems like there would be a lot of grip there because you're like going through a compression, but I don't know.
Yeah, the curbing right there, like wants to unsettle the car. At least that's how it feels with Lando. It's like I try to track out and stick to 3D curbing. It feels like it's wanting to unsettle me, but I'm not an alien though, so I don't know.
Well, that is definitely interesting. You got Landon Orr behind you. Hopefully trying to close the gap. Did you just pass Landon, or is he making his way back up?
I got my Landon. We're just trying to catch the next one up here. It's a little ways up.
Well, good luck with the rest of your race. Hopefully
thanks, and welcome back. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. That was Nick Tyrrell, everyone, of that mystery machine Lamborghini. I believe he is a person who was tied for a position. I will tell you, let me pull up my notes. I'm a professional. Nick Tyrrell and Thomas Clausen tied for 8th place. And their teammates. How about that? Is Thomas Clausen in this race? I don't see him. So Nick Tyrrell, congratulations on securing 8th place. We do have a crash from Landon Orr. We were just talking about him. Nick Tyrrell passed him. Coming in here, back end just coming around. It looks like that is the common theme with everyone this evening. We're gonna get Landon Orr in here. Landon, how's those rear tires feeling?
Oh man, they're really hot right now.
This track must just be a rear tire killer because everyone is
It
doing
is.
exactly what you just did.
Yeah, especially that turn, like you have to barely just touch it going around this whole thing. Like this turn I'm at right now also is pretty rough. It's all about the rear tires. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tuck in now.
You are still P4 in the amateur division?
I'll take it.
P4.
I'll take it.
You're still top 5. Michael Doyen, he's behind you. He's trying to catch up, but I think he might have to pit again. But he got taken out there by Chris Kraus.
Yeah, that tracks. That track.
That does track. He's had a lot of incidents tonight. Well, good luck with the rest of your race.
Thanks, sir.
Try to keep those back tires cool.
Try my best.
That was Landon Orr. P4 in the amateur division in that OMEC Ferrari. 11 seconds behind Nick Tyrrell. 7.5 seconds ahead of Michael Doyen. Michael Doyen makes the ground though. I think this is the driver with the worst amount of luck this entire season. He has consistently shown up, qualified well, raced well, kept top positions, and usually taken out of the race for something that he couldn't control. If any man has had a bad luck charm, it's been Michael Doyen. Unfortunately, we did have another crash from Sam McManus in that orange and blue Porsche. Gonna come through, back end's gonna come around like they all have been, and every time you do that slide, those back tires just get a little hotter, and it makes that slide happen just a little bit easier the next time. Looks like Austin McGill has claimed his throne back up there at the top, but he is gonna have to pit again. We'll see if he can gain a big enough gap to Jake Luther before he has to pit. I somehow doubt that. We got Jake Luther back here 2 seconds behind McGill in P2. Scott Kimbrough back in P3. And we have Jesse Olsen in P4, 11 seconds behind Scott Kimbrough. Everyone is well spread out tonight. Don't think we're going to have a safety car. There is definitely going to be some people tonight who are wishing we did, but unfortunately, Devin Adams, the deer wrangler, made it happen. We got Bradley Alvis down here in P5, who does have Mike Braun. No, he looks like that was passing lap traffic there. Bob Lindell. Mike Braun is 22 seconds behind him. Looks like he has a pretty secure lead of P5 there. Mike Braun, P6 in the Pro Division, does have Nate Sides. This is the closest battle we have out here on track tonight. Nate Sides, 0.5 seconds behind Mike Braun. Pitted 2 laps ahead before him. He's going to be on a little bit older tires, not by much though. He has about 18 minutes to get this pass made. Front board Nate Sides. Going through this final section of corners, it does look like he has a run on Mike Braun. Mike Braun ran a little wide there. We're coming down the main straight. He is in the draft. He's closed down an entire 10th on Mike Braun. Coming down here into turn 1. Coming through turn 2 and then through turn 3 of the Lagos. Super late on the brakes. Kind of a late entry. You see Mike Braun getting a little squirrely up there through this sweeper turn 5. You see the back end just getting super loose. It's like they have to just really baby it through there. I'm running this back straight, coming up to this sharp hairpin of Torre Vip. Cutting it in early, looking to get a good exit, maximizing the entire track, running it all the way out on the curbs. Coming through turns 5, 6, and 7. There's turn 5, there's turn 6, here's turn 7, otherwise known as Samsung. Coming up over this crest, I'm sure the back end gets really light there. You gotta get over to the right away for turn 8, turn Craig Jones. These are some very strange turn names for a Portuguese track, if I do say so myself. Here's turn to Portimao, turn 9. Coming down into turns 10 and 11 there. Coming up on that back marker, Chris Kraus in that McLaren, who's just kind of been a wrecking ball out there tonight, so they're going to have to negotiate their way around this lap traffic. They're coming around this last hairpin of Sagres into the final big sweeping right-hander here of Galp. Sweeping their way through on the final straight. Lead sides was 6/10 last time. He's 5/10 this time. He has gained a 10th over this lap on the back of Mike Braun, doing everything he can to get his way up into P6. Patrick Cantrell has fallen behind him a little bit. He's 3.5 seconds, looks like, behind Nate Sides. Did Chris Crouch just disappear into the ether? What happened to Chris Crouch? Did he just let him by, or did he crash? Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm board with Chris Kraus coming down the main straight. Putting her into 6th, going the first gear. Ooh, he overshoots it, really understeers into that corner, stays on the outside, lets those two by. Takes, I'm assuming, his hefty slowdown or off track, either or, lets those two by, and they are free to battle on another day. Everyone else is pretty spread out. We have Tony Casito, I believe, making his way up to Michael Doyen. Michael Doyen has pitted. Michael Doyen's made his final pit stop, so he's here P15 for the amateur division, trying to fight off Tony Casito. Tony Casito does have about 4 lap older tires. Michael Doyen is going to be doing everything possible. Tony Casado not afraid to get his elbows out, though. Has been having a pretty rough night. We'll see if he can make his way past Michael Doyen. He goes here with the nose cam. Drone cam? Everybody loves a good drone cam. He has closed the gap to 0.3 seconds. They're going through Samsung. This sharp right-hander, they're going to go up over the crest through the left-hand sweeper, Craig Jones, up to Portimao. Definitely a lot of elevation on this track. Back end likes to get real loose through there. Coming through Portimao, this right-hander, kind of an awkward one because you got to hug the right-hand side for this downhill left-hand corner through the compression onto the second to last hairpin of the track. Sagres. Just kidding. First there's this really sharp hairpin. I know the track, I know where I am, and then the big final hairpin, and Tony Casito is all over the back of Michael Doyen. He's going to be looking to get a good run for this final section onto the main straight. He's out as wide as he possibly can, using every inch of that track. Coming through, he does have a little bit of a run, 3/10, and he is closing the gap, looking to get a draft down this main straight. Michael Doyen poking his car to the inside, weaved a little bit, trying to break the draft, doing everything he can to keep Tony Casado behind him. Tony Casado coming up to turn 1, does not make the move, stays behind him probably for one more lap. Runs pretty wide out there on those curbs through turns 2, coming up to turn 3. Lagos, this sharp right-hander, still over the back of him within 0.3 of a second. Our previous battle up there, Nate Sides, he's fallen down about 1.2 seconds behind Mike Braun. Couldn't quite keep it up. We do have a crash from Bradley Alvis, but here's Tony Casito finally making the move on Michael Doyen coming through Torrey Vip. Michael Doyen tries to keep it around the outside, runs out of room, has to get on the brakes a little bit, and now he is 0.5 seconds behind Tony Casado. Does he have an answer? Coming through this turn here, coming up to Samsung. Samsung with a short little straight into Craig Jones. It's going to snake you into Portimao. Michael Doyen right behind him. Not letting Tony Casado have it just yet. He's still within 0.4 of a second. All he needs to do is get a good line coming up to turn 1. Casado is catching up to Landon Orr. They're through the final track here. Final corner here, turn 1. Michael Doyen 7 tenths behind Casado, but Casado is 2 tenths behind Landon Orr. Landon Orr not able to have the pace to hold Casado off, but hopefully Casado doesn't want to get slowed down too much here. Michael Doyen's going to be right over the back of him. There goes Orr running wide. Coming through turn 3 of Lagos. Tony Casado almost into the back of Landon Orr. Hits the sausage curb, almost bottoms out the car. Coming through there. That is going to cost him time, and that is going to make him vulnerable to Michael Doyen behind him. Going to start sneaking up. Michael Doyen runs wide there a little bit, going past those curbs. Coming down here this back straight into Torrey Vip. Doyen shows his nose a little bit, tries to sell the dummy, but Casado's not going to take it. Runs wide, trying to get a good exit. Casado does not get a better exit. Doyen's still taking that gap down just a little bit, almost within 0.3 seconds. He's just waiting back there, hopefully to capitalize on some kind of mistake Casado might make with trying to get around Orr. Coming through my favorite corner of Craig Jones, leading into Portimao. Tony Casado tries to send it up the inside. Landon Orr maybe gets a little out of sorts. Back end goes around. Casado has to get on the brakes, and there is Michael Doyen's chance, if there ever was one, to make a move. He swings to the outside, coming into the inside, coming into the sharp hairpin, sticks his nose in, tries to take Tony Casado 2 by 2. Coming up to the hairpin here, Sagres. On to the last final right-hand sweeper on the back straight. Can Doyen get a good enough run to make something happen? Possibly. He's within 3/10. He's got the gap. Casino is weaving, taking the inside line, doing anything he can to keep Doyen back there. Doyen's under 3/10. Counting the gap down. Is he going to make a move? Coming into turn 1. He's not going to be able to make a move. This is definitely close racing, coming down to the last 10 minutes. I think that was Doyen's chance. They are coming upon a rogue Chris Kraus, though, as we speak. And anything can happen when you come upon a rogue Chris Kraus. Michael Doyen just needs Tony Casado to make one more small mistake coming up here onto Chris Kraus, because Tony Casado is pulling away. If Doyen can get in front of him, he might be able to throw just enough defensive lines to keep it behind him for the next 8 minutes, but only if Casado makes some kind of mistake here trying to get around Kraus in that very sketchy McLaren. I believe they just went through Craig Jones. They're coming up through Portimao. Going around that sausage curb, they're going to come down here, turns 10, 11, this sharp left-hand hairpin. Casado coming up on the back of Kraus very quickly. Looking like he will catch him on the back straight, though. Might help him out with a draft if he doesn't slow him down on this final sweeping set of corners that lead onto the back straight. They're through the last hairpin, coming through this long sweeping right-hander. Here comes Casado running wide. Casado is going to get the toe from Kraus coming up the straight. Kraus lets off, lets him get the move done, and I think that is going to be it. Doyen's going to be behind, and he is not going to get that pass made. We got pretty close. Buenaventura is all over the back of Cantrell, fighting for 9th and 8th in the Pro Division. Again, we got about 7.5 minutes left of this race. Buenaventura looking to make a move on Cantrell. We are going to go with the OMEC sponsor, Drone Cam. This looks like we are at the final sweeping set of corners leading onto the main straight. Ventura within half a second. Trying to get into the draft, trying to make some kind of move here. We got that Rexy Porsche coming up. There is going to be some lap traffic that these two are going to have to negotiate and still maintain their positions. Coming through turn 3 at Lagos. If there isn't a lake there, I'm going to be pretty upset. Coming down this sweeping turn 4 onto the back straight, going down into Torrey Vip. That is Parker Merrill up there. Looks like Christopher Piero just got around him. Hopefully Patrick Cantrell is definitely gonna be hoping to get around him with no troubles. We're gonna go on board with him. See Buenaventura in the rear view camera there, all over the back of him. That gap is down to 3 seconds, 0.3 seconds. Cantrell is gonna be focused. Cantrell pitted 1 lap before Buenaventura. He will have slightly older tires, but not bad. Hopefully, he's gonna be able to get around Parker Merrill on that straight, or he might have some trouble on his hands on this next lap. Going through the hairpin for the final set of sweeping right-handers before the final straight. Carefully navigating his way through. Go quickly on Parker Merrill. Parker Merrill hugs the inside line, lets him by, no problem. And he's able to keep it in front of Buenaventura one last time. Did we see this crash from Landon Orr already? I believe we did. I believe this is one we witnessed during the fight. Tony Casito Jedi mind punted him right off the track. We did have a crash from Parker Merrill earlier. He's got Brian Anthony in that BMW behind him. It is just really easy to get the tires loose on this track, I'll tell you what. Terrell all over the back of Kevin Caedo for overall position. Sticking his nose in like he wants to get a move made. We got about 4.5 minutes of this race to go. We definitely have some close battles out here on the track in the midfield. We do have a crash from Austin McGill in that Valhalla Audi. Landon Orr behind him. He was already down some positions from a crash and an untimed pit stop there. That back end goes. The back tires of that Audi must be getting cooked. Landon Orr avoids that, luckily. And McGill's back on the track, losing another position. He's down to 5th place. We're back on board with Nick Terrell. Still in the car, trying to get around Kevin Caedo. Just 3.5 minutes left to go. There they are, side by side, getting the pass made, coming up to this last sharp hairpin. I believe turn 11. Before turns 12, 13, 14, this last sweeping set of right-handers before the main straight. We'll see if Buenaventura is going to be able to make a move on Patrick Cantrell. It was 0.4 seconds, 0.7 seconds after that turn. Cantrell looking to be very strong competition for Mitch Buenaventura. Here they are coming through this final series of right-handers. We'll see if he can get a good enough run coming out of them. Just kidding. They're not on the final series of right-handers. They've been turning left several times. Oh no, they're turning right. I believe they're going through Craig Jones right now. Portimao, maybe? They maybe just went through Portimao. I'm so lost. I'm doing great, everyone. Nick Terrell. Oh, wait. We already saw that pass. I'm falling apart. Mitch Buenaventura. Here they are, finally coming through the final set of corners onto the main straight. Buenaventura's got about a half-second gap. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to pull enough draft to make a move coming down into turn 1, unfortunately. Out front, we got Jake Luther with it locked down. Scott Kimbrough behind him, 11.2 seconds. Olsen behind him, 14 seconds behind Scott Kimbrough in P3, and we got Bradley Alvis in P4. with Austin McGill, who was leading the race with lots of pace, but just was not able to keep it together for the entire endurance run. Unfortunately, that is endurance racing. Looks like he is here trying to get around this back marker. Who is in that BMW? Christopher Piero looks like he was throwing a block, finally letting him around. Maybe realized that he wasn't fighting for position. Not sure what was going on there, but that was just enough for Landon Orr, I think. Can you catch up to him? Landon Orr is also a lapped car. Michael Doyen is caught right back up to Tony Caicedo. This is going to be, I assume, the last lap. If there's any time for Michael Doyen to get a move made, this is going to be it. Doesn't matter what position you're getting, it is still for points. He's sticking his nose in. This is definitely the white flag lap. He's trying to get a pass made through Lagos. Coming around here, turn 4, up to the straight, leading into Torre Vip. He's going to take a defensive, Cito's taking a defensive line. Doyen's going to go around the outside. Going for the old switcheroo, going to try to send it up the inside of Caicedo. Can't quite get enough exit to make that happen. We do have a crash from Chris Kraus, but we're going to take a look at that later because this is the most intense last lap battle on the track right now. We do have Buenaventura, who is right behind Patrick Cantrell, also making a battle for the last lap race. We're on board now with Michael Doyen. Coming here through Craig Jones up to Portimao. He's going to keep it on the outside. Try to send it on the inside. With the drone cam coming down here, there's going to be this short hairpin before the last series of right-handers. Can Michael Doyen get a move made? He's keeping his bumper all over the back of that Porsche. This is wheel-to-wheel racing for the final lap. There's a little touch of the bumper. That's not going to be good for an exit run. We'll see if he can get on the draft. Tony Caicedo gets wide to fully maximize that whole corner. Has to let off just a little bit. Michael Doyen is closing the gap, but it's not going to be enough. He is going to draft for the final straight. And he finishes 15th. With a crazy run for the end. That is him for 15th. We got Jake Luther, P1. Scott Kimbrough, P2. Jesse Olson, P3. Austin McGill, P4. Mike Braun, P5, Nate Sides, P6, Patrick Cantrell, P7, and Mitch Buenaventura rounding out your top 8 for the Pro Division. First place in the Amateur Division is Joe Evers. Second place, Thomas Pereira, followed by third place of Kevin Caicedo. Fourth place, Tony Caicedo, and fifth place in the Amateur Division, Michael Doyen. He was 15th overall, but he made his way back up to 5th place in the Amateur Division. 7 spots down from where he gridded. A little bit of a disappointing race for him this evening. And that is going to round it out for tonight, folks. I am a little talked out. I hope you enjoyed it. We are not going to be able to do the interviews tonight, but I hope you all enjoyed this broadcast. This is Mark Osborne, your fake sim racing driver, signing off. Hope you all have a great night.